Maths paper 2 Yago South Africa has been leaked, and now there are a lot of investigations happening, and they said it's in Gauteng and Limpopo. They were just informed, basic Department of Basic Education. They say they were just informed that a paper has been leaked in those, and as such, whoever that had access to that paper, it means they will have an advantage over other children, which is fine, and I fully understand. And then they then said they will investigate. They will investigate. Investigations take time. I know. Investigations, they don't just happen for free. There's money involved. I know. And there's quite a lot of things involved, which some of them I don't even know. So I'm gonna be clear and open. But I would say it's gonna take a quite long time. There's a lot of delay. They need to know who did that and why, who gave them access to the paper. It got me really thinking. And I did think about it. That's why I created this video. So guys, if you're new in this, space, in this community, in this family, get an KG. I'm from Young and Proud Educators, and I love speaking about education because I'm passionate about education. I love education. I've been teaching for 10 years. I'm 32 years old. I've been teaching for 10 years. So I'm still young in the game, but I love and I want to be exposed as much as possible. And for the fact that I've been teaching for 10 years, I've got something to put on the table. That's definitely for sure, to put on the table, and I'm gonna put it on the table, and I'm putting it now. Okay, so the reason of me recording this video, it's because now we're speaking 21st century, and I've been doing quite a lot of that, quite a lot of research. It's exciting to see on how the world is moving and moving away from the 19th century to 21st century. Almost most sectors, they fully moved into that space. However, there's one sector which now has been forcefully so by COVID to move, but it's going to take quite a long time, particularly the government institutions, government schools. It will take the longest time ever for them to fully adapt into 21st century teaching, because we haven't changed. We have not changed yet. We don't teach our children as the 21st century children. We're teaching them old 19th century. So what we're doing is it's more like we say, guys, we're gonna take you to the future. But for us to take you to the future, we're gonna teach you the past, so you'll take yourself to the future. It's not possible. It's crazy. It's ludicrous. It's laughable. And one of the reasons is we're not ready to move. And we're holding on to the past. We're holding on to the past, the way of doing things in the past, the way of teaching in the past, the way of assessing in the past, the teacher being in control, the teacher knowing everything in the class, the teacher being the center of knowledge, attraction, guidance, the one that leads discoveries, and that has changed. That has changed. To be honest, it has changed. The way I was taught like that. But when I was in school, I said I'm 32 years old. When I was in school, things were moving already. So we expect them to move at speed, since COVID has forced things to move in speed. If we look at how we assess at the moment, particularly assessment, because the papers that are leaked, if we as the governments of different countries, and I saw that happening in, is it Denmark, Sweden? No, Denmark, Sweden? I think it's Denmark. They've introduced a different way of assessment. Children can come into class, they have access to everything, internet, Facebook, everything. The only rule that they have is do not communicate with anybody. You have everything in front of you. Use it to create whatever that you created. So the assessments are mainly based on creation. if we as teachers, as Department of Education, assessments are based on, if you look at Bloom's taxonomy, it's lower order thinking skills, then we're in trouble. Then we will be concerned about leaked paper. Then we will be concerned about getting security to look after the paper. Just imagine, I don't want to say about, like, getting security to guard the paper. We will be concerned about that because it's of value. And what is that? We're making sure that children remember what we taught them. The children understand what we taught them. The children can apply what we taught them. Those are basic, the most basic skill ever. But we need to move them up. Can they evaluate? Can they create? Can they analyze? The Sweden examination are focusing on that. Mainly creating. They teach the children how to solve problems, how to create things, how to analyze their situation and say, this is a problem. How do we then go about solving this problem? Then you have a whole lot of children coming with different ideas and building models and building prototypes on how to solve that problem. But what are we doing in our country? What are we doing in Africa particularly? Because I love Africa. I'm so passionate about Africa. This is the motherland. But what are we doing as schools in Africa? Why are we keeping the past? Why are we doing that? I had a beautiful interview with one of my colleagues. I went to university with him. His name is Dr. Wada. He's in the US now, Texas. He then spoke about the assessment in details. Why we assess the way we assess it. Our assessment forces us to teach in a certain way because we're preparing children in a certain way for certain things. They go into the spaces to provide government jobs and that like that. So it's a production line on its own. Nothing different. You just teach people how to answer the questions. So they're ready to answer. They test takers, beautiful test takers. But do those guys willing to solve the problems? You'll find out of 100, only 2 or only 3% can solve, 5% can solve and create things. The rest of them is just mass production. So they can complete school. By the end of writing exams, you say, okay, this province has this much marks. This province has this much marks. Guys, I'm not creating this video to bash onto people, I see it as a problem. And as a teacher, I'm part of the problem as well. So there's no way I can just stand on the side and say, you know what, I'm going to bash Department of Education. I'm going to bash education in Africa. I'm going to bash education all over the world. What do I say? What am I bringing in the table? The table should have something from different people. So it's combined and put together. The start is, let's think for the future. The way we were taught as teachers, as parents, is not how our children will be taught. The jobs that we are doing at the moment, those are not priority jobs to our children. They will never be priority jobs to our children. Our children have different professions now. So there's no need to be obsessed about math. There's no need to be obsessed about science, because your child might not be a medical doctor, might not be a lawyer, might not be a teacher, but your child will want to create things. Your child will want to be in business. See the solution, see the problem, analyze, and bring the solution, and make money out of that. Your child's profession will never be like yours. And the possibility that their children's profession and future will never roll out as theirs. So we need to think along those ways. We need to think future. And once we start moving forward, we need to say, you know what?
this assessing where we're looking for, did they learn? Like it's more like we're trying to trick the children. Do you remember this? No, you can't remember. Wrong. Do you know this? No, you don't know it. Wrong. We need to assess in a different way. We need to think our assessment. We need to think about assessment. We need to think about how we teach. We need to think about how we engage with the children in a classroom context, in a campus context, in a world context. We need to remember 21st century is looking at, they say the 4 C's. Can they communicate? Can our children communicate with clarity and precision? Can our children think critically? Can they think critically? Can they then, create? Can they create things? Can they collaborate? If you think about those 4 skills, they sound easy in the ear, but to actually do them is difficult. Me at the moment, for me to work with a colleague on whatever project, it's a difficult thing ever. Because that skill was not built. For me, networking now with other people that I like to do things with, it's difficult. To communicate, it's difficult, and all of those skills, if you think about them, they are linked. Let's start prioritizing those ones, and easily so, nicely so, let's get rid of the 19th century teaching, assessing, and learning. That's me, that I'm putting on the table. It's my piece, have your piece.